Welcome to Quantumly Kinky with Veda, where we talk about sex, Chinese medicine, and character development for the multidimensional you. Episode 30, Every New Beginning, Seducing the Shift in Timelines. Welcome back to Quantumly Kinky. I am your host, Dr. Veda, and today we're talking about how every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Yes, Seneca said it first, and then Semisonic sang it like a closing time anthem. But today, I want you to hear it as your higher self whispering in your ear that everything closing right now in your life is an erotic cue, a signal that the next timeline is ready for you. We're not here to panic at the endings. We are here to seduce the shift. Because when one timeline ends, it's not random. It's actually the Quantumly Kinky contract with your higher self kicking in. You know, the one you signed before you even got here. The one that says, hey, I trust you to escort me to the next turn on. And I trust you to bring me exactly what I didn't know I needed. The beauty and the intricacy is learning to appreciate the in-between. That liminal space where you can't quite see the next scene, but you can feel the lighting change. So in the quantum model, timelines are like parallel lovers. They all exist, they're all available, and they all have different personalities. When you shift frequency, the timeline you're in has no choice but to morph, dissolve, or hand you over to the next one. And from an Eastern medicine perspective, endings live in the metal phase, the autumn, the letting go, the moment when the tree drops its leaves, knowing that they were never meant to last forever. And the beginnings, they live in the wood phase, springtime, the push of the green through the soil, the erotic ache of something wanting to be born. And the bridge between them, that's water, the great womb, the dark, fertile unknown. So when we resist endings in our life, we actually interrupt this natural elemental flow. And we try to hold on to metal and keep breathing out, but never breathing in. The exhale must become the inhale, and the loss must become the seed. And here's the thing about erotic energy, babe. It thrives in movement. Stuck timelines are anti-lust. They freeze your libido. They freeze your creativity and your sense of possibility. So let's talk about the QK contract in action. When timelines shift, the first instinct for most people is to cling, to bargain, to try and rewrite the ending so they don't have to leave the scene. This moment is exactly where our Quantumly Kinky contract with our higher self comes in. Remember our two questions? How may I serve? And what is your will for me? Well, these are not passive surrender questions. They are arousal questions. They are you stepping into the dungeon of the unknown, naked except for your trust, and saying, you know what? I'm ready to play. And when you live by this contract, you stop making micro contracts with fear. Scarcity agreements that keep you in jobs, relationships, or identities you've outgrown, they dissipate. Shame agreements that make you believe you can't start fresh because you failed, they're gone. And the what if agreements that only keep you looping in paranoia, they also leave your field. And instead, you renegotiate, but this time not with fear. This time with your highest erotic intelligence. Let's take a deep breath together. Every ending is a diagnostic moment. It shows you with no filter what you actually believe about reality. For example, if your belief is change is dangerous, you will unconsciously narrow your field of possibilities until you're back in something familiar, even if it's not what you want. Now, if your belief is change is an erotic expansion, you will notice the field around you widen. You'll see invitations that you couldn't have perceived before. People will appear, and opportunities will start to flirt with you. This is exactly why moments of ending are so potent. They're a perfect chance to rewrite the code. Quantum physics tells us your observation collapses probability into reality. What you expect becomes what you see. So, if you want a hotter storyline, you have to expect one fully, shamelessly, and without hedging your bets. And now I want to talk about erotic expansion versus fear contraction. As we all know, fear has a very particular signature in the body. It contracts, it narrows, it folds you in on yourself, chest closed, hips locked, breath shallow. But turn on does the opposite. It opens the posture, expands your field, softens the belly, and deepens the breath. From an Eastern medicine lens, fear is a kidney water imbalance, and water, when frozen, cannot nourish the wood phase of a new beginning, but when it flows, it feeds everything. So here's your practice. At the moment something is ending in your life, whether it's a job, a relationship, a move, I want you to physically open your body. Stand with your feet hip width apart. Roll your shoulders back. Open your palms and breathe into your hips and chest. Imagine that you're sending out a sexual availability signal. And not for a lover, babe, but for a timeline that deeply wants you back. Fear, contracts your erotic field. Pleasure expands it. The more turned on you can be about possibility, the more possibility wants to find you. So here's the takeaway today. Every ending you're in right now is not a rejection. It's a redirection. Your higher self isn't just moving you, but she's seducing you into the next timeline that fits your frequency perfectly. And when you feel the fear, I want you to go back to our Quantumly Kinky contract. I want you to ask our 2 questions. How may I serve? And what is your will for me? And I want you to let that be your safe word with the universe. A reminder that you came here to play and not to shrink. Endings are not the loss of the story. They are the scene change that keeps the plot alive. And in the quantum erotic game, the only way to win is to keep on playing. Thanks for listening to today's episode of Quantumly Kinky with Veda. Stay turned on. Till next time.